earlier video, I explained the tactical reasons for the use of rocket launcher systems, their technical characteristics, and the different types of ammunition used. And later, in another video, I explained the international offer currently available in rocket launcher systems. If we analyze the map of European countries that have rocket-based fire systems, Spain is, notoriously, the only important country that lacks them, surprisingly. As I explained, the offer of international MLR systems is leading in volume by Russian rocket launchers, although technically, Western systems, in regard to the use of rocket guidance systems, are superior. In this video, I will focus on the three possible Western alternatives for the Spanish armed forces, which are: the Brazilian MLRS ASTROS II, the Israeli MLRS LAR-160 or Lynx, the American MLRS HIMARS, This documentary video, I will develop it as follows. Throughout it, I will be presenting various tables of comparative data of the three MLR systems. About them, I will give explanations about the differences, advantages and disadvantages of the data offered for the three MLRS analyzed. At the same time, as wallpaper video, you can see various tactical uses of each system compared. I will do this correlatively. I will start with the Brazilian ASTROS, then you will see the Israeli Lynx, and I will finish with the American HIMARS. To avoid identification errors, you will always see in the upper right corner the respective MLRS icon that is in the images on the screen. As you will see, we have started with the Brazilian MLRS ASTROS. As you can see, the most modern system of the three is the American HIMARS. Although it is an update of the old and excellent MLRS M270 on chains. Its manufacturers have a presence in Spain, especially in aeronautical systems. The Israeli MLRS is the oldest in theory, since vehicle and rockets are up to date, and are the most modern. Its industrial presence in Spain is multiple, in many and varied weapon systems. The Brazilian offer is the one with the worst starting conditions, although there is always the transfer of technology. If you look at the costs per launcher, with old data from 2009, the most balanced option is that of the American HIMARS. Apart from being the most modern of three. As I said before, industrially, it may be in favor of the Israeli LAR-160 or Lynx, since ELBIT systems is very present in many current Spanish weapon systems.
Board that vehicle. 16. Board that vehicle. 17. Get in that vehicle. Report position. Grid 178786. Waiting.
These data that we see now are important in terms of logistics, movement and, above all, transfer of the launcher from its bases to the combat zone. In short, the Israeli Lynx is very long. The widest is the Brazilian ASTROS, and the highest is the American HIMARS. Following the vehicle data that supports the MLRS launch system, we observe that the lightest of the three is the American HIMARS. The three systems can be mounted on many and varied vehicles. On chains, there are hardly any MLRS in the world, except the Russians, due to weight and maintenance problems. As we are seeing, it is normal to use 3 for 3 vehicles. The engines are similar in all 3 vehicles. Calculating the ratio power, CV, divided by the weight in tons, the best performance vehicle is the American HIMARS. It has 5 horsepower more per ton than its competitors. In vehicle speed and range, the data, as we see, are similar. All carry a crew of 3 people. Head of the launcher, operator of the shooting system and driver. The Brazilian ASTROS, when the 12.7mm machine gun is mounted, incorporates the 4th crew of the vehicle. It is the only vehicle with its own defense system. The cabins are shielded in all 3 cases, in order to operate the rocket launcher from inside. All launch vehicles carry a second reefer vehicle, with the necessary containers for it. These last 2 comparative tables will allow us to know what are the real air transport capacities that the Spanish armed forces would have for these MLRS. These are the summary data of the Israeli Lynx. These are the data of the current fleet, 2020. Only in the gigantic A400M, 1 MLRS Lynx could be transported by plane. Let's know now what would happen with the American HIMARS. As in the previous case, by weight and measures, it would only fit in the A400M. But 2 HIMARS units could be transported simultaneously by plane. Similarly, with a Brazilian ASTROS, only one unit could be transported per A400M aircraft. And if we now analyze the transport capabilities of an MLRS by helicopter of the Army. These are the current fleet data, 2020. As you can see, only the American MLRS HIMARS could be heli transported by the Chinook CH-47F. With this third video, we finished the series about the most suitable MLRS for the Spanish Army. Let's see the fire capacities of the three MLRS. Everyone can reload their launchers in an average time of approximately 5 minutes. Let's start with the basic guided rocket of each MLRS. The American HIMARS is the one that uses the largest caliber rocket. But it is the disadvantage that it is the system that carries less containers per launcher, 1, and fewer tubes per container, 6. On the other hand, the other two models offer greater variety and quantity of rockets in all the comparative options that we are going to see. In maximum tactical reach, the Israeli Lynx model is the best. And in the rocket's own data, the defect of the American HIMARS in volume of fire tries to replace it with an explosive power twice as much as its competitors. Tactically, at this point, one would have to decide between few rockets and very powerful or many rockets, but with less explosive. The answer is in the tactical use that we want to give to these types of fire systems. That is, dispersion or concentration of fires. It is the tactical key. Compare the MLRS now, taking into account an advanced unguided rocket. The Brazilian ASTROS system is the one that offers the greatest variety of sizes, and also the one with the greatest range and explosive power is able to offer. Between the American HIMARS and the Israeli Lynx, it happens as before to equal scope. The first, few rockets but with a huge explosive capacity, while the Lynx, 4 times more rockets but with half explosive power. Let us now compare a basic guided rocket of the 3M LARS. These types of rockets use a GPS-based guidance system. Therefore, they have an average impact error, CP, circular error probability, less than 10 meters. As always, the American HIMARS has the least amount of rockets, while the Israeli Lynx is the one that offers the most fire, with 26 rockets. If we compare the explosive power offered in a full salvage, the Lynx launches 26 rockets, with a total of 780 kilograms of high explosive. By contrast, the American HIMARS with only 6 rockets launched, puts 540 kilograms of explosive, in a rain of fire of more than 2,400 bombs. Let us now compare an advanced guided rocket of the 3M LARS. In the case of the Brazilian ASTROS, they are data of the future ASTROS 2020 rocket not yet available. Although, in this case, the HIMARS offers a greater number of rockets than the Lynx, the range is double in the Israeli case, and also, with a greater amount of explosive. By multiplying the number of rockets by the amount of explosive loaded, the HIMARS launches 540 kilograms of HE, while the Lynx launches 440 kilograms only of HE.
Disembark.
An MLRS can also launch missiles. In this case, we are trying a certain type of strategic ammunition, rather than tactical. These types of missiles usually use a triple guidance system, redundancy global satellite navigation system, GNSS, and inertial navigation system, INS. Again, I offer some data of the future AVMT-300 model of the Brazilian ASTROS. The caliber of the ATACMS is gigantic, compared to that of the Israelite Lynx missile. But this shows, as always, that the HIMARS can only launch one single missile per salvage, unlike the 4 of the Lynx. With equal range of distance range, here we can see that the Lynx can throw 560 kilograms of HE, against only 227 kilograms of HE of the American HIMARS model.